Welcome to New York. Chris,
Thank you.
your first time.
First time.
So we have to have a classic slice of New York pizza while
Absolutely.
we're here.
We love pizza, and I want to try a New York style.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Super exciting. The show is back.
I know.
25 seasons.
Yeah. 25 seasons. I never thought after the first season we would even be continuing on. So I didn't get too excited about it. I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll do it, all right. And then they kept coming back.
Right.
Okay, season 2. Then they said, okay, we'll try season 3 and 4. And then here we are, season 25.
So amazing. It's such a testament to you and your family and how entertained you have kept people all these years.
Well, I think some of it, I'd like to think anyway, that a lot of people may have wanted in the beginning, okay, let's see what the little people are doing. But after a while, whatever difference they saw a lot more similarity.
Yeah.
And they forgot that we might have been little people sometimes. And we're just a family, we're raising kids, we live on a farm, we're going through the roller coaster ride of family life. And so I like to think they saw a lot of themselves in it. And I think it's pretty real. I mean, you see a snapshot of our life, but all throughout the season, including this season, you will see a glimpse of just a real family.
Okay, we can order. Hello.
How are you?
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good,
What can I
thank
get
you.
today?
I want to try a New York style pizza.
But we'll share one.
Margarita with a sausage and mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so
Of course,
much.
guys.
thank you.
You got it.
I love your motto, MVP.
Yeah.
Can you, I see the necklace.
Oh yeah, I wear it all the
She
time.
represents.
Don't I? This isn't just for right now, I wear it all the time.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
It means you matter, have value, and a purpose. Not most valuable player, but that you matter, have value, and purpose. And I wanted to remind myself, regardless of what's going on in my life, good and bad,
Yeah.
that is something that I can rest on, besides my faith, something that I can always rest on. But also to share it with other people, it's like, well, if I matter, have value, and purpose, it doesn't stop there. So does everyone else, and to help them to really know and believe that in themselves as well.
I want to talk about your love story. It's so sweet. Let's go back to the first day you met. So it was a painting class, is that right?
Yeah.
And why were each of you going? Just to kind of a new hobby?
Well, if it really wasn't from the show,
Right.
Chris and I, our paths would have never have crossed. The show wanted me to do something else that it wasn't part of me, it wasn't going to be involved in my life. I said, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'll put on a singles event. I called my one girlfriend and said, okay, I know no one's single, you do.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
So she's calling all these people, and a friend,
She called a friend of mine who's single, and he
Thank you.
called me and said, hey, there's this singles event. There's it's just going to be 5 girls and 5 guys, and they need a couple more guys. You want to do it? I was sure, I like those odds. You know, I've got an even chance. And so then, after I said, yeah, I'd love to do it, then he told me that, you know, it was part of Little People, Big World, told me about Amy. I hadn't heard of her or the show before, and we didn't actually hit it off there. I think we only spoke maybe
it was just an introduction.
Just
Really?
just an
so you weren't
introduction,
thinking like, oh, he's kind of cute, she's kind of cute.
No.
No.
We weren't on either of our radar, but a couple weeks later she had a pool party and invited everybody at the singles event to her pool party along with a bunch of her other
And that was
friends.
filmed too.
Yeah. And then at the pool party, I was talking to her and told her I had to leave early. I was going on a big motorcycle ride. And she kind of perked up and said, well, I'd like to try that sometime. So I invited her on a ride, and we did that a couple weeks later, and it just worked out that we've been together ever since.
How has it been like for you fitting into the family? What has that transition been like?
I was really fortunate. In the past, I've dated women where, of course, the children are younger, where they kind of resented, you know, somebody coming new to and dating their mother. But fortunately, with Amy, her kids are grown, you know, starting their own families, but they've been very respectful in the beginning. You know, naturally they had some reservations. I mean, you know, I would too, and you know, in their shoes.
They're like, who is this guy?
Yeah. What are his intentions?
Well, especially because Amy is now a celebrity. The
Right.
family has been in the spotlight. You know, anyone would think, does he just want the fame? Is
Right.
he? How many Instagram followers does
Oh,
he
I
have?
tell you, I had a lot of haters when I first started dating Amy. People that didn't
Social
know
media.
me. And yeah, a lot of people just assumed the worst. But
What was the one thing I told you not to do, but you did it anyway?
oh yeah. When we first started dating, she goes, "Do not go on social media. Don't check
go
it out."
online. Don't do any of that.
Yeah,
He did.
and
Nope.
you know, and even though I have a Facebook account, I don't do much social media, but I couldn't help it, and yeah, it was hurtful that all the negative stuff. In fact, it hurt my business for a couple of years.
Really?
I'm a realtor, and so it was hard for me to get new business during that time because if anybody Googled my name, they saw all this nasty stuff that wasn't true.
Right,
because
of
the
course,
people-
of course.
But we're time tested now.
Yeah.
and
2.5
all is good.
years,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah,
guys
we're
are
2.5 years married. We've known each other. We were just talking about
About
that.
7.5
7.5 years.
Wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about this season.
Yes.
A lot goes down. There's a fundraiser event.
Mm-hmm.
You are now working with your ex-husband and your current husband. So how is that dynamic on the show?
For me personally, it was a challenge. I will admit it was a little difficult. For Chris, I mean, I thought, man, I can't unload all of my baggage on him because he won't get it. For a guy, you know, they don't get it. And I didn't want him to constantly look at Matt as this big enemy type of thing. So I shared some things, but I kept a lot in. But I wanted him to just embrace that. And so, yeah, it was a challenge for me to have him and Matt work together.
And Matt and I have had a cordial relationship
Yeah.
from the very beginning. You know, when we started dating, you know, I mean, they're living right next to each other on the same property.
Yeah.
So, you know, had to get to know him. And in fact, Amy at first kind of resented that I wanted to talk to him. But
I know, I'm like, why? What about what? Like, wait a minute.
but
Let me have my
'Cause
okay.
you guys have a guys' night without Amy on this season.
Yeah. Well, we've gotten to that point now that I've met a couple of Matt's friends and we just, when we get together, it's just good guy time. We talk about stuff that guys do and fortunately I've kind of fit in with that group, and so I get invited now to, you know, these little guys' nights out on the farm, and you know, in the beginning, Amy probably never saw that coming and wouldn't have approved, but we're beyond that now. It's all good.
Oh my God. Yes, we got the pizza, guys.
Thank you.
This looks so good.
Oh, good.
right.
Thank you.
Sharing place and the beef.
Thank you, guys. This looks so
Okay.
good.
Would
Here,
you like
Very
it?
nice.
Thanks.
Chris's very first New York City slice.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is very exciting.
Wow.
See,
Well, I think one thing about the relationship between he and Matt also is it would have been very easy for me not to like Matt. Like,
Right.
hate's a strong word, but it's like, I don't want anything more to do with Matt. That's my life. That part of my life is over and stuff. But I have kids. I have
Right.
grandkids. We're going to be sharing birthdays and, you know, other celebrations or whatever it may be, let alone in the season. We're working at a fundraiser for an organization that means a lot to me, DAAA. But I thought, okay, you can keep that wall up as much and as however long you want.
Right.
And that to me would be a good message for other people too. But you got to determine, is that wall really benefiting you?
Right.
Are you trying, does the other person even care? No. So I thought, okay, you need to manage this. Bring it on down. And I think that really helped me to just put that part of my life in perspective, in a better perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get
You have
along.
such a good perspective on life. Should we take a bite, guys?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
This actually looks amazing.
Oh, is this one piece? Wow.
really
See, you kind of fold it. Ooh.
I took a big bite. So the farmhouse. There's been conflict. We have to talk about this. There's been some conflict over it. Take a bite before we get into the farmhouse. Okay. There's a little bit of drama. So, is there any resolution this season with the farmhouse?
Well, I think, you know, in this season, obviously what people are watching happens like last year.
Right.
So this was a tough thing, I think, especially for my two boys, but obviously you see Zachary on the show. I wasn't there part of, you know, the negotiations or any of that, so I'm just seeing some parts like everyone else is seeing.
Right.
It was just really tough because we always thought the farm would stay within the family, not just with Matt. And for the farmhouse and the property that it's now on, or always has been, to see it being sold, it's hard. However, a lot of my kids have moved on. They said, okay, we couldn't negotiate with Dad. We're going to find our own place.
Yeah, it wasn't their first choice to move on.
No.
In fact, when Amy sold her half to Matt, it was
I had the hope,
with the expectation that one of the boys would end up buying that half from Matt.
Yeah.
Can we put it in a trust? Can we do something like that?
It's a done deal now.
Yeah.
It's a done deal. Matt has divided the property. The farmhouse sits on a portion of the original property that the farmhouse was on. And so Matt, owns the rest of it. He bought me out of it. But no, I had the hopes that they would be able to work it out between the two boys, because they're the ones that were able and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just happy that the kids have moved on from it. And I think by moving on towards the end of the season, they're able to put that perspective of the family in a better light.
Yes.
They're able to go, okay, yeah, going back to the farm, yep, still kind of tough. But just like I am, I'm still the mom, I'm still the grandmother. Matt is still the father and still their grandparent.
Yeah.
So whatever perspective and thing that they can work out within themselves, I hope continues to build and grow upon.
As a mom, you just want the family to stay together.
Oh,
I understand.
I always tell them, regardless of what goes on, it is still family.
Yes, exactly. So Zach has a little bit of an emergency this season. Can you tell me how he's doing?
Well, in the show, you'll see Zach go through something that, as a mom, I don't want to be like, okay, Tori, get out of the way. I'm the mom. I've been through this before. Ooh. I just wanted to let them know that I am there. If you have any questions, this is what I've done, or, stuff like that. Tori was great. But he had a shunt revision. He was starting to get all those headaches and stuff like that, and it got pretty bad.
Scary.
And it was scary because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And it was one of those situations like we dealt with the past. He goes, oh yeah, there's nothing, wrong, or you'll feel better. But then they had to go back again, and so I'm being called at 3 o'clock in the morning. Can you come? Because we got to rush him to the hospital. I'm like, sure. So, I come out there and take care of the kids while Tori, because I thought it was very important. Tori needs to be there with him.
Yeah.
Eventually, he had surgery. I was called 4 o'clock, or be here at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I stayed with the kids for a few days, watching them while Tori can stay at the hospital or whatever she needed to do.
Yeah.
Because this may happen again. But as of right now, he's doing fantastic. Zach is doing great.
Good.
And hopefully,
Good.
we'll hopefully
We're
not
on
deal
the
with
up.
this for another 10 years.
Yes.
So yeah.
God willing.
Yes.
All right, we're going to wrap this up with a little Couples Uncensored, you guys.
Uh-oh.
Who is more romantic?
Well, I think in a lot of ways, maybe me. Just with note cards and just stuff. But Chris will come home and just give me flowers. I'm like, babe, what? So I'm always appreciative of that.
Luckily for me, that Amy appreciates the small gestures. And so it could just be flowers and cards, but Amy's doing a lot of the little romantic things that I've never experienced from anyone else, but she's constantly just surprising me with little cards. She'll go on a trip and and leave the house, and I'll go up and I'll find a note on my pillow, and that she's left behind and things like that. So she's definitely got the larger romantic heart, and
So sweet.
kind of inspires me to keep up.
Okay, biggest ick about each other. So biggest,
I don't see the upside in saying what the biggest ick is.
Oh, I know what it is. I'm messy. I don't pick up after myself or close a drawer or a door, right?
Yeah.
Is that true? Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys had to work that out when you first moved in together,
we're still working
imagine.
on
Okay.
I think it'll be something we always work on.
Yeah.
Because he's been by himself for so long that's all he's had to worry about.
So
Were you ever married?
No, and I've
Okay.
never been a parent, so it's irritated me
This is
from
all
the day
new.
one picking up after someone else. I've never had to do that.
And so for me, it's like with my kids and
You're used to
filming and just I taught. I was a soccer coach. I mean, it's like that's not important to me
Yeah.
because there's so many other
Yes.
things. And as I told my kids, or other moms and everything, you got to make a choice. Because I grew up with a mom that was very clean, you know, like a neat freak. But that's what I remember.
Yeah.
She might have been at my marching band thing or this and that, but that's not the first thing that comes to my mind. I wanted my kids.
Amy has rebelled against that idea.
I wanted my kids to say, but Mom was always there. She took me to practice. She took me to this. It's like, I'll mop the floor at 11 at night. Then say, oops, sorry, can't, go do homework or
I want to join the family.
Yeah.
Nicknames for each other.
Oh, he calls me dear. My dear.
I like to mix it up. Schnookums.
Schnookums?
You rarely say that.
That's all right, too. Mix it up. Yeah.
I have a hard time, you know, giving a nickname to him. I just call him Babe.
Yeah.